How's it going, everybody? Welcome to OP Entertainment. I'm Omar Darwish.
And I'm Pratik Cherian.
And this is our review of Captain America Brave New World. I almost forgot what it was called. What was it, New World Order or something?
That's what it was before, Brave New World.
Not what it is anymore. Now it's a complete mess. Spoiler free.
Wow.
What'd you think of this movie?
I've seen it twice.
You're a strong man. It wasn't that bad.
You know, I will say I liked it. I liked it worse the second time, so
Okay.
I would hate to think of my thoughts the third time. No, my thoughts, and I had this thought the first time I watched it as well, is it's almost like if someone decided to do a straight to VHS sequel to Winter Soldier.
Not even streaming, not DVD, VHS. Gotcha.
No, because like you remember when we were kids, like the straight to VHS movies were always just like lazily done, really sloppy, and would just take like, oh yeah, we did this scene in the first movie and people liked it. What if we do that scene again but shittier somehow? Like, and this movie is so full of scenes that I've already seen from Winter Soldier, but lazier and shittier. Oof. Apologies for the language.
To even say like from Winter Soldier, like I don't even think it even attempts to do anything close to Winter Soldier.
But like, okay, so like there's the scene where Nick Fury's in his vehicle and it gets shot up, and then we get like a shorter, shittier version of that. And then like the scene where like they're chasing,
it's so much shittier that I wouldn't even have made the parallels to the scene. So yeah.
Or the scene where like Bucky shoots at Cap in his apartment, and then they're like chasing him and he's like doing stuff, and they're like, whoa, who is this guy? Like it's in the trailers, but like the scene where Isaiah Bradley's like running in the White House, like kind of reminded me of that. Like there's certain shots. The scene where he like jumps through the window is like it's the same shot again, and it's just like, to me, if you're not trying to invoke Winter Soldier, like what even are you doing using the same shot? And there's more. I could go into more.
They're clearly trying to invoke it. How successful they are.
The opening sequence with like Falcon swooping in to stop like the thing is basically the same like sequence on the Lumerian Star. We even get the scene where like Captain America is fighting Batroc and he throws the shield away, and we get that scene with Falcon. Yeah. Only he at this point he's already like lost the shield, so he throws something else away, and it's yeah.
So you enjoyed the movie overall?
It's such like it's just so lazy, and it's
okay.
Go ahead. Sorry. Be positive.
I don't know how much more positive I'm going to be. I did think coming out of it that I would be more positive, and I am a little bit more. It's unoriginal. It's the everything about it feels uninspired. It feels like you're right in the sense of like it almost feels like Aladdin 2 Return of Jafar or something like a straight, or I don't know if that went to theaters, but like a straight to VHS sequel.
That was straight to VHS.
But that being said, like it's very simple, and like if this was the first movie I ever watched ever, I'd be like, okay, it was fine. It was fine. This movie is fine, right? But we've at this point seen too many, not just comic book movies, we've seen too many movies to go into this, and like this movie, just every scene is just okay. This sets up like something in the plot that like the audience clearly knows what's going on. We're just waiting for the characters to get caught up to every scene in every moment of this movie.
There's so much exposition.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And to Marvel's credit, they know that nobody watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I like the show, but like, not that many people watched it. So they're doing a lot of like trying to catch you up on, hey, like you didn't see that, so let's try to get you up to speed on what's going on here.
But also, like you could do that without all the exposition. I feel like you could take 50% of the exposition out of this, and you can. If you have half a brain, you can understand the plot of this movie and what's going on, like without having to see anything else.
It's because the exposition is just so unsubtle and so so sloppy, and the dialogue is like. The exposition scenes, like the dialogue is just so unnatural. Like it's such like nobody would ever talk like this. So I must be getting exposition right now.
It's like TV, like I want to say sitcom level bad as far as like the way people talk to each other. And you're like, okay, they're clearly just trying to explain what the hell this scene is and what the hell this movie is.
You know how like a while back, I think it was like the Netflix CEO who was just like, oh, like we tell our writers to like write scenes like people aren't watching the screen, like people are on their phones.
This feels like the opposite of that though. I feel like this. If I'm on my phone, I would look up and be like, what the hell is going on every I
don't know, but I feel like the dialogue that I'm getting is just like describing stuff like, in case you're not watching this movie, like here's what's happening.
I guess if you're just listening. I gotta say, I'm trying to be positive about this. What'd you like, Pratik?
You know, okay. I do like the third act.
Okay.
I think the third act itself, visuals aside, because I don't even want to talk about, like, I'm tired of talking about Marvel and CGI. Like, we're just not even.
There wasn't any, like, atrocious CGI. There was some very bad green screen and maybe some use of the volume.
All right, you know what? CGI is harsh. Visual effects.
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
I don't even want to talk.
Maybe because they already have like the Red Hulk model, but I thought he looked really good compared
Red
to
Hulk
like
looked
some things
good.
we've seen.
Everything else looked bad. But that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
But I did feel like this movie, the third act is what they had in mind. Like that's what they wanted to do, and then they just had no idea how to get to the third act, and that's the stuff that sucks.
Well, I'll disagree because
yeah.
I feel like this movie is actually very focused in where it's trying to go and how it gets there. It's just that it's not a very interesting. There's not much going on in the story, so it has to do it kind of slowly.
Sure,
like
fine.
from scene to scene. So yeah, I have the same critiques, but I disagree in like how you're saying it.
Yeah, okay, maybe. But I did like the third act. I thought that they're like.
And I also don't even know where the third act began because this movie is so disjointed. Like the second half of this movie is so disjointed. I feel like
it's when the Winter Soldier stuff stops is when the third act begins.
Yeah. I thought Anthony Mackie was great in this. I thought he's really good in the role, and I wanted I wanted to see him do well in this.
Sorry, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I think the other thing I really liked was I liked Harrison Ford in this.
Oh yeah, Harrison Ford's good.
Like,
he's always good. I mean,
I would say generally this is his movie. Like he's the one that has like the most complete like character arc. He's the one who like goes through things like.
If this movie had any sense of like there being any other Marvel heroes in this universe, I would say this feels just like an update of like the Marvel universe. A bad update, doesn't give you much, but like you're right. It almost is like it's Harrison Ford's movie because they don't give Sam much in this. Like I mentioned this off camera, but this feels like they didn't need to make him Captain America to do this movie. He's still just like the same character he was when he was Falcon. He's just as noble. He's got the same powers and mindset. Like I don't get why he just has a shield now. He's not doing anything. There's nothing Captain America about him. And like I love him, but I want him to be Captain America. But they never get him to that point. This could have just been Falcon the movie, and I think it would have been more understandable.
It would have been about the same. And there's even questions I have about that with like where we met him in like previous entries to this, and like the type of person and character. Like
how would you feel though if this was literally like they took the Captain America element out of this, and this movie was just called Falcon the movie, and it came out before Winter Soldier or right after, in between Winter Soldier and Civil War or something. It was like something along those lines. It would work so much more. You know what I mean?
A lot of the plot
it's
points
trying to live up. It's right.
Yeah.
But it's trying to live up to like a Captain America movie. And even if you watch the Captain America trilogies, those movies are completely separate from each other as far as like what they are and what they're trying to do. That this. I don't know. This is separate too, but it's not even like it shouldn't be compared. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this might be my like comic book bias coming in, but in the comics when Sam becomes Captain America, there's this entire arc and struggle of like where he's trying to decide what does it mean for me to be Captain America and what type of like Captain America am I trying to be. Yeah. And like that was so integral to the character of like, all right, I am Captain America. What does that mean for me? Like, what does that change? Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I don't think this movie even cared to like answer the question of what does it mean for Sam Wilson to be Captain America. Like, you're right. Like, there's really nothing about other than the shield and like the iconography. Yeah. There's nothing about this movie that says Sam Wilson needs to be Captain America, and that's not the fault of Anthony Mackie. And it's just. Again, the movie is just so lazy. It's just not trying. I don't think the writers are equipped to like tackle that.
Yeah, they didn't give him enough to. They didn't give him enough of a movie.
Yeah,
I feel bad for him.
Like I think honestly, if we were to see another Captain America movie, I would love if that was the focus. Like that's what I want to see.
Is it because it's too hard because he doesn't have the super soldier serum, it's too hard to give him like a proper fight?
No, I don't even think it has nothing to do with the fighting. It's about like
the story's just
it's just like who is this character? Like and honestly, through the movie, the character doesn't go through anything. Like what is the thing that like from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, what's different about his character? Really nothing.
Right. And especially when you compare it to the last Captain America, who has, while he's still a good man throughout the whole thing, he has a huge arc from beginning to end, right?
Yeah.
I think because Anthony Mackie's so good in this role and like is so good at what he does, they don't want to change his character at all. They don't want to give him any more. They don't want to give him any sort of an arc, right?
Yeah, but like give him a struggle. Make him like do they try there's one scene where they try to make him like question
Well, that's
himself,
the thing.
but
There's
like,
one struggle and it's the like the identity thing, right?
But it feels so tacked on.
Yeah.
Like it
And
doesn't.
I want to get into this. Why can't he just have the super soldier suit? Why can't, like, if you're gonna give him the crutch of him having a vibranium suit and all this tech, you may as well just give him the serum at this point. What, like, someone in the comments explain to me why he can't have the serum, because I really think at this point, maybe in the comic books, like, there's a noble reason, but at this point, just give it to him. Like, how is this more of a crutch than the wings or the suit or any of it? You know what I mean?
Sure.
At least give him a fighting chance. Like, I don't know. You disagree?
I don't disagree. Like I disagree for reasons about like the character itself, but like there's not the movie this movie, and I would argue even the show like Falcon and Winter Soldier like doesn't present a good argument for
why not.
Yeah. And so like you have valid points, just strictly based off the MCU.
Yeah. Okay. Any other positives you want to go over?
I mean, I said Harrison Ford. I said Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
The third act.
I'll say this, for a movie that seemed to be riddled with reshoots, I mean, it's disjointed, but it didn't seem that bad. Like, it didn't seem that bad. Like, most movies that are riddled with this kind of level of reshoots, we notice it a bit more. Like,
I guess.
It does. It is a shame that if they tried to fix this movie, I wonder what it would have been before this, but...
Yeah, I don't know. The movie, like, I don't know why this movie was made, to be quite honest with you. And, like...
Because they made the choice to make him Captain America, so you can't just, like, leave that there.
It's not even that. Like, besides, we need to have a Captain America movie out there. And, like, this movie seems so concerned with, like, tying up, like, loose ends from Eternals and from Incredible Hulk.
Which is why I felt like this movie works best as an update to, like, where the Marvel Universe is, but it just doesn't even try. It touches on things, but it doesn't really try to explore them enough to give anybody a satisfying conclusion as to, I get where the MCU is right now.
But, like, that's not the purpose of making a movie. Like, there's no movie that's made with, like, that as, like, this is why. You know what I mean? Like...
That's the... I guess, like, if you were going to have some sort of hook, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was just to show him as Captain America. Like, say this movie was incredible, right? And it does really well.
Yeah.
Are they, like... They're probably going to use him a lot more, right? Like... I mean,
I don't know what Marvel's doing. Yeah. Like, asking me to speculate about what they're doing, I don't know. Because,
Well, I'm only speculating because we're questioning why this movie was made. And so I feel like there's got to be a purpose, right? So maybe we're racking our brains for no reason. And you're right, there's no purpose for this movie. Let's just score this thing.
Sure.
I'm thinking like a solid like 5. It was fine. It was straight down the middle. It was okay. If you're a fan of the MCU, if you want to see this, watch it. You're not going to lose any time other than the 2 hours watching the movie.
I appreciate that it's only 2 hours. I guess.
I'll say this also. Pacing wise, it felt like a 2 hour movie. It felt a little less. Like it was fine. It moved. It moved fine.
It moved fine. It doesn't get bogged down again, other than like you smacking your head on a wall several times. But when I saw it the first time, I walked out of there thinking it was a 4. The second time I watched it, I'm going 3. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to say 3.
Maybe mine will go down too. But yeah.
All right. You want to take us out? What are we doing next time?
We got some movies coming up, so we'll see you guys for that.
All right. See ya.
See ya.